was really fun. And then Nikki Sixx came. It was just like the whole thing was like really fun.
I hate to say this, but the point of the event is to go hang out with the special needs
I
people.
did. No, I hung out. And you know which ones I hung out with? The ones that were in the movies.
Don't act like you're a civil rights activist.
I know.
Don't act like you're a free speech pioneer.
I know.
It's just an easy fucking joke. It's literally the easiest joke you can make. That was one of the scenes.
Yeah.
It was a guy doing missionary with another
too
guy.
romantic.
Bummed me out.
Hi guys, welcome to Anniewood episode 111. Oh my goodness. I have the wonderful Greg Fitzsimmons on the show, one of my best friends, one of my favorite comedians. We had so much fun. We talked a lot about some celebrity encounters we had that were pretty scandalous. So stay tuned for that. We also have the extended uncensored version on Patreon. So go to patreon.com/Annie Lederman to get all of the dirty details. And then I am also on the road. You can see me. I will be New Year's Eve. I'm doing a special New Year's Eve extravaganza. I have Bobby Lee, Josh Potter, Ken Flores, and a lot more comics. We're going to have the ball drop. There's going to be free champagne, free joints, free gift bag. You're going to get free merch from the Comedy Store. It's going to be so much fun, and it's going to be absolutely wild and crazy. So you're going to want to get your tickets to that now. And then I will be on the road. You can see me. I'll be in South Carolina in Greensville, January 3rd and 4th. I'll be in Greensboro, January 31st to February 1st. Then I'll be in Anchorage, Alaska in March. I will be in Philadelphia, March 27th, one night only at the Helium Comedy Club. Please come out to that. It's going to be so fun. It's one of my favorite clubs. Then I'm going to be at the Toronto Comedy Bar, March 28th and 29th. Then I'll be at the La Jolla Comedy Store, April 4th and to the 6th. I am doing my special. That is when I'm recording my special. I know I've been saying that a million times, but I swear to God, I'm recording my special. So please come out to that. It's going to be really special. And then Kansas City, Missouri in April. I'll be in Florida in May, and Tampa. I'll be in Naples and Florida in May. All right. Anyway, come see me. I love you.
Welcome to Anniewood.
Should I have my feet up, or is that bad?
Yes, do it. Whatever form you want. We're laid back and relaxed.
You're wearing a velour suit from the 70s?
Well, it's from Macy's. Macy's 2019, so I don't know.
Won't you get me to funk it down?
I've heard that song.
Are you a dancer? You like to dance?
I look like I do though, don't I?
You look like somebody at a party. What about at a wedding?
I'm so uncomfortable dancing.
Really?
It sucks so bad.
Let me say, dance.
I was a go-go dancer. You see my go-go dancer?
Oh, so you do know how to dance.
I don't. I would get so drunk. It was so crazy. This was such a weird moment of my life. So the whole reason I got the job, this was in Santa Fe, New Mexico. There was one nightclub. It lasted like 4 years.
Yeah.
And then there was no nightlife, except like 4 bars that I got fired from all of them. But it was run by these 2 gay guys, these like power gay couple, like these rich ass gay dudes. And they bought this bar. They named it Swig. They had 2 like little podiums like this, like little like cement podiums, this high. They had me on it. I was just there drunk one night. It was like my 21st birthday. So I'm there. My friend Abby was the like general manager and she goes, if I give you $50, will you go down there and dance? I'm wasted. I'm like, sure, whatever. So I'm like so drunk and I'm like, okay, this is my one. I have no rhythm.
Wait, go in the middle one.
Okay. It's very diapery. They're not like.
Can I retire in those someday?
What do you mean? You want them?
I want to wear that on Miami Beach.
A belly shirt?
Yeah.
It would be cute.
Yeah.
What a good bob. Okay.
Ready? Won't you take me to?
So I would go like this, and I could only turn one way. Like I had no rhythm this way, so I had to do this way. And I would just go like this, like I put my hands on my hips, I go like this. And then sometimes I would flip my hands.
Yes, you would.
And I would go like, and that was it. There was no other move. And like, if guys tried to dance, like I couldn't like keep the rhythm with another person.
Yeah.
Look, Randy's like, what the fuck was that? Even Randy.
Yeah.
And it was, don't say so white.
So white.
Listen, Asian people. Can your dad dance? Can your dad dance? No, you are
No.
not an Asian type dancer. I wish you were.
I used to break dance when I was in high school.
You broke danced?
Well, I did break dance. I did gymnastics pretty competitively for like 6 years.
Why didn't I know this?
Yeah. And then
I did see that picture of you and Rogan in short shorts.
Yeah.
That is pretty gymnasty.
Yeah. And I was like super thin and I was crazy. I would do double back flips off
Oh my
walls.
God.
And so then when breakdancing came along in the early 80s, I was just like, oh, I could do flips. I could do
Wow. And you have good rhythm.
I have good rhythm and I could spin on my
Jealous.
back. I could do long spins on my back.
Oh my God.
I used to be able to kind of pop. I don't remember how to
Wait,
do
can
it.
we do like a video where we see if you can break dance?
Yeah.
Let's do that. We'll go to Venice Beach.
Yeah, we need to bring a piece of cardboard so I could spin on my back on
we'll
it.
bring you cardboard. It's also
That
recycling.
would be so funny if I just set it up with a hat out to
Let's
collect
do
money.
it. Let's do that.
I got the outfit on.
It's perfect. No, I love how you dress. I did call you a when you came in. Did you find offense to that or did you think it was cool?
I just hadn't heard the word in so long.
I know I understand why it's a problematic word.
Well, I don't know that it is. It just made me think of Eminem was like the last time I heard somebody use that word.
But that was my type. So I'm always like,
really?
yeah.
Oh.
But I think of it as like a compliment, like you have good style.
Yeah.
The shoes are more like the shoes you have on are like you have good foot health shoes.
These are actually, I was at my friend's house and he said, do you want to play pickleball? And I didn't have on athletic shoes. And my friend's a billionaire. I think I've told you about my friend
love
who's
that
a
you have a
billionaire.
billionaire friend.
And so he was like, he gave me these to wear. And then after he's like, hey, keep them. I look them up. They're like $180 running shoes.
Yeah, they're good. What's the brand?
Saucony.
Yeah, those are good ones.
Saucony or Saucony?
But if you had on like maybe some Air Force Ones with those or like,
no,
well, I know
I
you have
wear Adidas. I wear like,
and you're brand loyal. You try to keep the brands.
Yeah. I wear shells,
Yeah.
Adidas shells. And
I thought this was a Krispy Kreme for a second.
what is it?
It's
Surf.
Visla.
Some kind of surf shop.
Did you surf?
No, we went down to Redondo Beach. We did a bike benefit. It was like
Do you have the biker outfit?
had the biker outfit.
Do you have that? Is that something you do?
Yeah. I go biking.
You have a good life.
It's a good life.
You have a good life.
Went
Greg.
down to Redondo Beach with my niece and my wife, and it was like a 20-mile ride. And then we got there, and I'd never been to Redondo. It's kind of a cool little
It's
town.
amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. So
Really
we went into
cute.
some surf shops and bought some shit, got some tacos, hung out with like the
And is your niece you went with?
yeah.
Okay. Your
She-
family lives here?
My niece, no, they're all from New York, but my niece moved out here about a year and a half ago. She came out from college, and I got her a job at the La Jolla Comedy Store.
Oh, cool.
She's been a waitress there, and she's
I must
a
know her.
rock star. Yeah, I'm sure you know her.
Yeah.
Oh, I told her to say hi to you last time we
I
were
definitely-
there, and she chickened out. She doesn't
What?
like saying hi to the comics.
People I'm learning, are very intimidated by me, and it's
Yes, I think she was
fun.
intimidated by you, but which she's not. She's a very outgoing person, and she's the rock star at that club. They love her. They all like. She takes them out to bars
I
in
love
San
it.
Diego, and she's super cute, and she's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, okay, breakdancing, Greg.
yeah.
So when did you what ended your breakdancing career?
It just faded away, like the sport itself. But it was something that I used to go to Danceteria, Studio 54
Okay.
as a teenager when I was like 17.
And they would just let you in, or did you have to have a fake ID?
Fake ID, but you get it in Times Square for like $20.
I mean, fake IDs were so. I wish I had my fake ID still.
I know.
It's like I could not have looked. It was this lady with like a really small head.
yeah.
She just had a tiny head. It's like I have the
Right.
biggest head.
And it was always like
everyone.
from a state like, Phoenix. It's
Yeah.
like from Phoenix, Arizona, because they wouldn't recognize it.
I don't even know where. Someone just left there somewhere, and someone gave me it. So it was a real ID, but it was expired. So it had a hole punched in it. So I had to be like, sorry, it's expired.
Yeah. I know it doesn't look like me.
I know it
it's
doesn't look like
expired,
me.
but I'm cute, so let me in.
Let me in. They're like, oh God.
Yeah.
I'm like, here are my nipple rings.
Where would you go in Philly?
I never really, I mean, we went to like, there was like we would go to like teen clubs kind of. And we used to
Oh.
like sneak out, and these people that definitely were like so bad would take us to, we would go to like Shampoo was a club. We went to foam parties. Did you
Yeah.
ever go to foam parties?
No.
Do you know what they are?
No.
They're nightclubs, and they would just release foam. So you're just like hey, what's up?
Really?
Yeah. And you're like, I could dance at those clubs because no one could see me.
Would you leave soaking wet?
You'd be a little wet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very disgusting. It's actually so disgusting. I can't believe it existed. Like, what the is that?
It makes me think of that Nickelodeon thing where they slime you.
I mean, that's cooler, I think, because you could get a prize at the end. This is you could just get HPV.
Oh my God.
Foam parties. And then,
That's
I'm sneaking out of home. What if I get caught? I come home, I'm soaking wet. My parents are like, what the were you doing? Like, it's actually not as bad as you think.
I was just doing laundry, Mom. I forgot to put it in the dryer.
This could have been way worse.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, like a rave. Yeah.
What's the craziest party you've ever been to in your life?
I went to a party. It was a 90s themed party. I was 21. I had come to visit. I had two ex-boyfriends that were best friends. I had like a love triangle in Santa Fe years ago. And they both moved out here to work in TV. And they were working on the Ashley Simpson show. They got into like MTV. They were like PAs on the Ashley Simpson show.
Really?
And so I like drove. I was like, I'm gonna come spend. I'd never been to LA. I was like, I'm gonna come spend my spring break in LA. So I drove in. I had this like taupe Camry, 93 Camry. It was like kind of purpley. It was like so cute. So I drove like, I don't know, 15 hours, 18 hours or whatever to Santa Fe or from Santa Fe. And I stayed with them. They were living in Koreatown. And I was like, wow, LA is so cool. And they took me to this party at it was like their boss's house. I think he was the showrunner of the show. And so we're about to go in and they go, right before they go in, they go, Annie, these are our bosses. So can you not be, myself? And so once they said that to me, I was like, you guys. So I was like loud. I showed my tits. I was like, ah! I was like being as crazy as possible. And their boss like loved me, right? And so their boss like got my info. I don't know if I hung out with him. I think I went on a date with him. Well, that time when I was in town, I might have gone on a date with him. But I think I just like made out with him. And he was in his late 20s at that point. And then he was having his 30th birthday party. So I'm back in Santa Fe, and this was like the time of IM and stuff. So I was staying friends with him like on IM.
Yeah.
He was like, come to my 30th birthday party. It's a 90s prom party. So I was like, okay. So I start working out. Like, I go on a diet. I get like as hot as I can possibly. I'm 21, so I'm like already pretty hot. But I got a spray tan. Like I just got as hot as I could possibly get. Because Santa Fe is like, my ex-boyfriend used to say that New Mexico, instead of NM, it's just new mustache because there's every woman just, no one is in the gaze of men or women. Like everyone's just genderless and furry and dirty.
Right.
And but I was like, oh my God, I was like fake eyelashes. Like I just got as cute as I could possibly get.
And then drove 15 hours.
I flew in for that one. My dad, I was like, Daddy, I want to go to a party. And my dad was like, all right, I'll send you out there. So I go to this party and I'm the guy.
Are your two friends going to be at the party?
They're no longer involved.
Okay.
I have leapfrogged them.
Yeah.
They're not involved. They were kind of like shitty. So I was like, I'm still friends with them now, but I was like, I was kind of salty with them. So then I go to this party and Venus Williams is there.
No!
Venus Williams is there. She's drenched in sweat. She's wearing this like jumpsuit. Both the Williams sisters were there. But I'm like, look on, and you go, is that
they're
Venus?
Sweaty because they're dancing?
They're going crazy. It's like people are having so much fun. Tech from The Real World was there, who I actually ran into recently and was like, I met you at a party. And he was like, I fucking remember that party. It was just like, because it was themed and everything, even though it was like, this was 2005, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of it. Yeah. But so we're having this fun. And then I remember my friend I've flown out to go to this guy's party. I'd made out with him once. So in his head, it was his 30th birthday party. So in his head, like I'm the girl that's gonna like bang him. Yeah. I'm dumb. I'm like a stupid 21-year-old where I'm like, we're just friends. Like sometimes we get drunk and make out, whatever. So I'm like in his apartment, he's trying to hook up with me. I remember being like, don't date me. And he's like, oh my God. So I'm in his bed.
A boner crusher, that phrase
I'm the worst. I'm the worst. I didn't realize, this is where I'm like, whenever all the like Me Too allegations came out, I'm like, you have to understand how dumb we are when we're 21.
Yeah.
We don't realize when we're being cocked. Like you just don't even realize it. Especially if you add on someone's married. Like I was like, my parents didn't cheat on each other. So I was like, if a guy was married and invited me to his house.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no,
Safe
he just
zone.
wants to like chat.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm such an asshole. But so we're like finally like passing out because we'd been doing, I remember we did Blow with some celebs that were there. I'm not going to say who.
Come on.
Well, I told you some of the celebrities that were there.
Okay.
But
that's how they won all those tournaments.
listen, no, one of them went, my dad never lets me do this. And I went, our dads don't let us do this either. Our dads also don't let us do this. But it was at the old Standard Hotel.
Wait,
Oh,
King
yeah.
Richard wouldn't let her do it? Is
I'm
that King
not,
Richard?
I don't know who that is. And I'm not saying that person would ever do drugs. And
The Standard Hotel was the shit.
it was
back then.
awesome. Remember
Yep.
they would just have like
There was the
girls lying
Argyle
there?
next door to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the Sunset Strip in its full 90s glory.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So we went there. That was like the after party and he was staying there. So then in the middle of the night, he starts getting all these calls and people are like, it's like something fucked up is going on.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And he's like, what's going on? And then we go outside and we're like talking to everyone. So one of his girlfriends was dating Robert Shapiro's son,
Okay.
the lawyer,
Yeah.
the O.J. Simpson lawyer. He had OD'd on like Molly or something, on
Okay.
ecstasy, like something, there was some sort of correlation or whatever. And he fucking died.
No.
He died.
That's a party.
I mean, is that the craziest
Yeah.
thing in
If
the
you
world?
go to a party and somebody dies, you definitely feel the next day like you're kind of on the right track.
I just went, wow, I gotta
Yeah.
go back to Santa Fe.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. It was so sad. I mean, he was like a really nice guy. I met him just for a second. But then one of my best friends, I became best friends with from that party. We didn't actually talk or hang out. But on MySpace, his picture was one of the 90s prom party pictures.
Uh-huh.
So I like, and I thought he was really funny. So here again, dumb cocktease. I'm like, you're so funny. I just wanted to be friends.
Yeah.
But we never hooked up, thank God. That's why we're
Damn.
still friends. But so, and that's how I became friends with my friend Mike O'Dare, who is Todd's boss on all of his shows that he works on.
Did you introduce them?
Yeah.
Wow, Todd.
Now they're Emmy Award winners.
Unbelievable. Have you won an Emmy?
Not like directly, but
His
Yeah.
show won an Emmy.
yeah.
You
yeah.
showed it.
Yeah,
I think you can buy it.
Yeah, I think you
Statue.
kind of are.
You should buy a statue.
yeah. I know, I thought about that, but
I got 4.
We know they're in your front window. I see them every time.
No, only 3 are there. One I sent to my mom.
Oh, that's cute.
You got
Does
to
she
send one to
care?
your mom. Oh my God, she watches the Emmys every year, holding it in
I
her hand.
love it.
Yeah,
You're gonna find her just
yeah.
rigor mortis holding it.
I know. We should bury her with it.
It's so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom is very proud of me, and it's hard for her because she's so Catholic and I'm so filthy.
Yeah.
And I talk so much about my personal life and sex with my wife and stuff that makes my mom really uncomfortable. And I talk about Jesus Christ, her Lord and Savior, in ways that are unsavory. And but at the same time, she really is in her heart so proud of me.
Yeah.
And supportive. And I mean, she's one of the reasons I'm a comedian. She's just got the greatest laugh. She's got the greatest sense of humor.
Exactly. It's always that one parent that just gave you that.
Yeah.
You just got that validation of their like full, undying, laughing attention. You're
Right.
just like, oh.
And I was definitely the favorite child. And my brother and
Mhm.
sister used to torture me because I was the favorite child. 'cause
Where
they
were you in
so
the birth order?
Middle.
Middle.
But I used to like help my mom do the dishes. I made her laugh. I remember one time she goes, Greg, go get a tie and take out the garbage, like a garbage tie. And so I went inside and I came out and I had one of my dad's ties on. I took out the
just lost
garbage
her.
and she laughed for like 15, 20 minutes.
I think the reason I am so filthy is because I remember the first like big guttural laugh I got from my dad.
Yeah.
My aunt was in town and they were like in another room and something happened where I was like trying to get my brother to come down and do something for me. I was like, Max, he wasn't listening. So I went, what a fucking putz. I was like 13. And I just heard them up like uproarious laughter. And I was like, okay, all right.
Right. I remember once when I was about 13, we were driving through Manhattan and we got to a red light and there was that, you know, that Nancy Sinatra song, These Boots Are Made for Walking. It came on and I got out of the car and I stood in front of the car and I did the Nancy Sinatra dance, like going from foot to foot. And I got in the car. My father missed the next light because he was laughing so hard.
Thank God it worked. That would have been a hard bomb. Getting back in the car.
Yeah. I know. That was a commitment.
Well, in the beginning of my comedy career, I was putting on a show at the restaurant I worked at in New York. My parents live in Philly, so they drove up to see one of the shows. And one of them I bombed. Like they would come up all the time.
Oh,
One I bombed, and it was like, it was a quiet ride home. I mean, that was rough.
Thanksgiving one year, I started doing comedy when I was in college, and I
Yeah.
got my first paid gig like the year I graduated. And no, I think I was a senior, and it was at the Aku. No, not the Aku. It was the Kowloon in Saugus. Saugus is like the equivalent of the south side of Philly. It's like
Okay, yeah,
all
yeah,
Italians, big hair,
Yeah.
grease balls. And so, but it was a big deal that I was getting paid to host the show for the
Yeah.
weekend. And so I called my parents, and my family's very close. And so I called them up. I said, listen, I don't know how to break this to you, but like Thanksgiving, I booked my first show it's at the Kowloon in Saugus. Like it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And they were like, all right. They got in the car. They got a hotel
Aw.
reservation. They all drove. My brother, sister, father, mother. They all drove up to Boston, and the Kowloon is like the kind of place with the big wooden bowls with the scorpion bowls, and like deep fried
Okay.
like shrimp that are this big,
Yeah,
but they're
yeah,
deep
yeah.
fried to be this big, and so I'm hosting, and I used to do open mic nights there, so I was friends with the staff. And so my family shows up. My dad's in a suit and tie. My
Oh,
mom's in a
so
dress, and they're
cute.
eating with the chopsticks. And the place is actually pretty full, except for the front row, which was fucking empty. It was very weird. And so I go up to start the show, and I'm doing my first
No
couple minutes, and I'm
way.
nervous. And then the door guy, who I'm friends with, he opens the door and he smiles at me. And
No,
then
they don't.
6 people walk in, and they are all intellectually disabled.
Oh, wow.
And he knew they were coming, and he saved the front row for them because he knew I was hosting. And they sat in the front, and they laughed at every setup, like not the punchlines, the setups, yelling out. And my family was fucking dying.
Oh, they loved it.
They thought it
Good.
was the funniest thing they'd ever seen in my life.
I know that was like, they came to one of the shows, and there was this homeless guy named Randy. There was a homeless guy that walked into the restaurant while I was doing the show.
Yeah.
And I was just like going nuts with him. Like I was just like, oh my God. Like I was just going, me and this guy were going back and forth. And then at one point he like coughed and kind of threw up in his mouth. And I was like, did you spit one of your teeth out? And my parents were like, this is the funniest. They were so proud of me. They're like, the way you interacted with that homeless guy. And then
That's
I became like
awesome.
friends with him because he would always come by then. Oh, it's time, guys. This is my number one favorite thing. My number one favorite thing. It keeps me from needing to use my thing. I can keep my legs shut all season. All season. It's the holidays. Don't make me jingle no balls. Don't make me jingle no balls. Listen, mistletoe, when I'm under a mistletoe, you know what I do? When Todd and I pass a mistletoe, I go, Todd, close your eyes, pucker up, and I have him kiss his Autoblow. You guys, Autoblow rules. What an amazing product. It's helping everyone. People complain a bit about AI. I say AI is here to make our lives easier. And I'm telling you, it is making women across the world feel so much more comfortable, so much easier. We can Kegel, we can tighten back up. We have time off. We can heal our TMJ. We don't have to constantly be putting our orifices in the line of fire. So look, you might be hoeing around this holiday season, or you might just be staying on the couch, but you can give an amazing bee job anytime with the Autoblow Ultra. Have you ever unboxed a box? If you know what I'm saying? The Ultra Blow is incredible, okay? Because it gives you the exact BJ that you want. You don't have to teach it what you want it to do or tell it what you like. It will learn. It's smart. It's smart. This thing automatically syncs up with your library of dirty videos and matches up its movements to whatever you're watching. It's the best use of technology I've ever seen in my entire life. It is sent from above, you guys. We would love to see videos of you gifting an Autoblow. It could be the Ultra. It could be just the regular Autoblow. I want to see your man unbox an Autoblow. I mean, the joy. It will bring childhood joy back to Christmas. It's not fun. Christmas isn't fun anymore as a grown-up. But it can be now with the gift of Autoblow. Stay in this holiday season and you could still have an awesome sex life. Autoblow Ultra is the best Christmas gift you're ever going to give yourself or to somebody else. It's time to start having the best BJs of your life. Head to autoblow.com and use code Annie to snag 10% off your order. That's autoblow.com, code Annie for 10% off. Just do it. You get off 10%. You get off 10%. You get off and you get off 10%. So much of our monthly spending gets poured into rent payments. With Built, you can finally earn points for all of those dollars you're spending. Earn points that you can use towards flights, hotels, fitness classes, or even your next rent payment. Built is about to change how you feel about paying your rent. There is no cost to join Built, and as a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world you can redeem your Built points towards. Points can also be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, why not? Start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/Annie. That's joinbilt.com/Annie. Make sure to use our URL so they know that we sent you. Join built.com/Annie to start earning points on your rent payments today. But it was funny. It was
Wait,
fun.
so speaking of intellectually disabled, tell me about the Best Buddies
I was going to say, what a
bowling.
segue. Okay, so yesterday I went, today is Monday. On Sunday, I went to an amazing event, star-studded event.
Was Cindy Crawford there?
Cindy Crawford was there.
Were
Lisa
her
Loeb.
kids there?
Yes.
Yeah, her-
Not the famous ones.
Well, how many does she have?
No,
There's
there were-
usually 3 kids there.
Is there? She has a special needs.
Oh,
son?
no, does she?
Oh, okay. There just was a very handsome.
There's a
kid.
very handsome one, and there's a daughter who looks exactly like her, who's a model now.
No, it's not the model. Not
Okay.
not Cara Gerber, please. I know.
Oh.
But I had to.
Didn't a certain comedian date her briefly?
I do believe that's part of his
Mhm.
roster.
Yeah.
It's got to be hard when you're a parent.
In Hollywood, yeah.
And
when your
that-
kid is
yeah,
that
they go-
good looking.
And you go, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a certain somebody.
Yeah. Any other celebs?
Lisa Loeb was there.
Oh, that's amazing.
I was like, Lisa? I saw her and I went, Lisa.
Who is she?
I was
What
like,
does she
Lisa,
sing?
You say I only hear what I want to. Don't listen hard to them. Sometimes they're calling me. Anyway, and I was like, I watched your reality show. I
on
watched
MTV, right?
Yeah, she had like a dating her show, but she was really sweet. And then she like took me around and introduced me. I was like,
Oh,
is
that's
it weird that
nice.
I'm like throwing all your credits at you? Like probably things you don't even think about that
Yeah.
you did. And she's like, no, it's great. I was like, good.
That's awesome.
But I saw her a mile away.
And you hung out with Mark Wiley?
I hung out with Mark Wiley, and then I met. Do you know the comedian Abe Farley?
No.
Okay, so he's the Farley brothers' son.
Oh,
One of the Farley brothers' son.
really?
Yeah. Which was a great drop because I already liked him. I was already vibing with him, and then he
Yeah.
said that, and I was vibing a lot harder.
Wow.
I was like, this is pretty amazing.
Uh-huh.
But so he was the coach on Champions. I think it was a.
Yeah, that show was it set in Vegas or something?
It was with the one. It was it's a bunch of kids with special needs in it with Woody Harrelson.
Oh, I don't
And
think I
so
saw
he
that.
coaches the special needs
Okay.
kids.
Wow.
He's their like
Very
acting
cool.
coach. So that was cool. And then Cammie Crawford was there, who was the co-host on Catfish. It was good to see. It was just like it was really fun. And then Nikki Sixx came. It was just like the whole thing was like really
Well,
fun.
I hate to say this, but the point of the event is to go hang out with the special needs
I
people.
did. No, I hung out. And you know which ones I hung out with? The ones that were in the movies. The famous ones. No, it was so cute. Everyone was so sweet. There was a
Yeah.
kid Rocco I was hanging out with. And then
Yeah,
so
Rocco's the
Rocco's
best.
awesome.
I've known Rocco since he was tiny.
Rocco's so cute. He's 11 now.
And the parents are amazing.
But here's the
the
problem.
mom's kind of hot, isn't
The
she?
mom's a hottie and she's amazing. And
Yeah.
she was like, oh my God, you're a comedian. That's so amazing. I'm going to follow you on Instagram. I can't wait to like deep dive. The last video I have on Instagram is me taking a whipped cream bottle Okay, pretending it's a penis, having one of my fans get on his knees and I'm jizzing all in his mouth. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, just wait till I'm gone. It was like the worst timing for someone who I might be working with their son to look at my Instagram.
That's hilarious.
But it was like a lot of photo ops where I was like, this is the one place I'm not doing this. I was like, put your hand down, bitch. But it was so sweet. Everyone was so cute.
It's a really well-run event and it's super good energy. I mean, you worked with special needs people. There's just something, it's so energy giving. You feel so high after their energy. It's just so, there's nothing cynical. You don't ever have to wonder, is this person judging me?
Yeah.
You're totally free of that.
And if they are judging you, you're really like you really suck. No, it was so fun. And Mark's energy is so incredible. Mark, the guy that runs it, is like, he's just, what an incredible guy. I love he lives in Miami. It's like, he's just perfect. He's like really
he's perfect. And he's like, you know, he went to college. I think he went to, well, the guy who started this is Patrick Shriver, who's Maria Shriver's brother.
Yeah.
Who's Sergeant Shriver's son.
Oh, okay. I don't know
who
about
started the
Sergeant.
Special Olympics.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, incredible.
And so...
Is he a sergeant or is his name Sergeant?
No, just Sergeant. It's just his name. And so that would be funny, though. So basically, Patrick was son, came from a lot of money, but starting in college, he had this vision for finding, letting this population of people get internships and get jobs and get, housing. And he just started getting kids to volunteer in high school and college. And now it's in like 100 countries. It's in every state. It's huge. And he's dedicated his life. And Mark Wiley's been there from the very beginning.
It's such an awesome organization. And then I was talking to Cammie about, so she was like started out as a pageant girl. And she said that, because I was like, how long have you been? She's like, I started in high school. She was like, I was on a bus going to Miss like Teen USA or whatever. She ended up winning. She was on a bus with her mom and Mark was on the next to them. Was like, who are you? You guys are so pretty. What do you do? Yeah. And then started talking to her about it. And she's just like worked with them ever since. Like Mark's such a good liaison.
Yeah.
He's just so like.
He's a connector, they say.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And it was really fun. The kids were great. Mm-hmm. And the bowling was fun.
Did you bowl?
I bowled 3 times. First one was a strike. Second one, gutter ball. Third one, 1 pin left. So I feel like I experienced it all.
And you walked away. You're like, it's not going to get any better than this.
I said I did it.
Yeah.
I fucking did it. But it was, everyone was sweet and nice. And
good.
And because when I was in college in New Mexico, I worked for, I think it was called ARC or ARCA. I can't remember. But it was the like special population organization in the area. And we did a thing. I volunteered at the community college it was called the sex class. So they had all these kids with special needs that graduated from high school and they kind of gave them like a 4-year program at the college so that they could have like a degree or whatever. Okay. And I don't think they actually got degrees, but it was like,
was it like vocational training?
They did. They were teaching them about their rights and dating and how to take a girl on a date. And at that time they had passes they would get free cab rides. So they were teaching them how to call the cab ahead of time, how to ask a girl out or a guy out, like how to call them and be like, it was really cute. Oh. And just that they had like rights to
do it.
But it was really cool. It was fun.
And I work with comics that do jokes about, they have to say, and they have to do jokes about it. And they act so brave. There's always this preamble to the joke about, they try to tell me what I can say, well, like, don't act like you're a civil rights activist.
I know.
Don't act like you're a free speech pioneer.
I know.
It's just an easy fucking joke. It's literally the easiest joke you can make. It's the most punching down. And believe me, I love punching down.
Right,
I love doing racist jokes.
Course, yes.
But I just feel like there's.
But if you're Black and you have Down syndrome, we don't go there.
Right. That's hands up. I don't know. I just find it to be a really weak material.
It's not. I definitely left, and I called my manager and I said, "There's some jokes I'm no longer doing." I was like, I really was like, what is the point of this?
Yeah. I mean, I can see, like, I'm not saying don't talk about the subject,
right?
But if you're doing act outs,
I know.
It should be beneath you.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I know exactly. I think I even know exactly
Oh, there's a bunch. I'm not
But
talking
there's
about
one
one
very
person.
specific one I'm thinking of right now
Yeah.
that I saw and I went, and it just kills in a way that's so sad. You're like,
Yeah.
oh God.
Well, that's the problem with the thing about a comedian is you have to be careful what jokes you try out just for fun, because if they kill, now you're like a crack addict. Now
Right.
you know you're going to get high from doing that
You're
joke.
like, oh, I could just do this one right now.
Well, especially when you're on the road and it's not going well, and you know you got that in your pocket, and nobody's gonna ever know, but you're gonna kill with it. You can't have that in your pocket. It's like ever since I did my special, I've got a new hour, and I really
You already have a new hour?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it took me 6 months to edit the special, so I've
that's
had
true.
it's been 9 months since I started this new hour. But it's really like I'm so strict about never doing anything from the special.
Yeah.
Because even if I got to assume at any given show, there's a certain percentage of people that have seen it.
Right.
And if they see me do material from the
I
special,
know.
they're going to be so bummed out.
Or they won't be, but it's like, you will.
But so as a rule, I just don't do any jokes from the
That's great.
special.
That's good.
Which is making me feel like a young comic again. I feel like that thrill of like, do I have enough time?
Yeah.
I love wondering if I have enough time
oh my
before I
God,
go on
that
stage.
feeling was so wild when I first started. Oh, when I
And
first
you're
started headlining.
and you start doing crowd work and you're like, okay, good. This is going to give me 5 minutes
yeah,
less
I'll
than
do
I have to
if
do.
I do 15 minutes of crowd work, I'm good. I'm solid.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that feeling. Do I have enough? Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that went away like a year ago for me.
Well, especially when it's not going well and you realize, oh my God, I just gobbled up 90% of my
I did
material
those
and I got
fast.
15 minutes left.
Q&A?
Yeah.
And you like didn't do well enough for a Q&A even? Like, we
you
don't
don't want the question. Why are you still here?
Oh God. Yeah. No, but it was really fun. It is just such a thing where it's like, I just think everyone would enjoy doing that work. It's just it's so like, it's really fun. I mean, I used to work at Easter Seals. That was like my big job. And when I was moving on from high school to college, I started doing, I did it for 4 years. I worked at the summer camp and it was just so fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was so cute.
Yeah. When I was in high school, we used to go to on Wednesdays, we would bring pizza to the it's so funny because you go back and you can kind of age yourself by what you call them. Like I think you said special before.
Yeah.
And that's what you used to say. You say special.
Yeah.
And
you have to say people with special. You can't say special needs people. You have to say that it's a person with special
needs. But now
needs.
it's people with intellectual disabilities.
Right. Okay.
But that'll change.
And neurodivergent is now everyone. Like
that's the umbrella over autism, Downs. Right. I think even like ADHD can be considered.
Oh yeah, no, that is
neuro atypical. Oh my God. Have you seen the TV show English Teacher?
It's great.
It's so fucking good, but it's so good. And then the one joke about the girl and you're triggering Nancy. Why? Well, because Nancy has what do you call it when you yell out stuff?
Tourette's.
She has Tourette's. Well, that's weird. She's never yelled anything out. It's asymptomatic. Well, how does she know she has it? It's self-diagnosed.
That show's great. That guy is so funny.
He's so fun. Everybody is. The whole cast
great.
is amazing.
I know Sean Patton's in it.
Sean Patton's great.
Well, that's where I had not even heard of it. That's what's so annoying about the way TV is now. Like the only reason I heard about that show is because Sean's my friend and I follow him. And he was going, "Hey guys, we had such a fun season. Thanks for watching." And I was like, "You're on a show?"
Yeah.
And then that's how I even learned about it. It's like
I don't know how we stumbled on it, but there's an episode in a gay bar. The whole episode is in a gay bar. And it's like video screens in the background of guys fisting each other. It's like really hardcore and dudes going at it in the bathroom. And it was really like, it was a test. Because like, I'm not.
It's like your mom having to watch your set.
Right. It was very triggering. It was very like I'm not homophobic, but I get uncomfortable watching graphic gay sex.
I don't. I only get uncomfortable if they're doing missionary. There's something about pushing the legs up that makes me uncomfortable.
That was one of the scenes.
Yeah.
It was a guy doing missionary with another
too
guy.
Romantic.
Bummed me out. Like oral, I'm totally fine with oral because I've always thought to myself,
doggy.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Classic doggy.
Yeah, let's go.
Nobody's looking at each other. I don't want two guys looking at each other's eyes.
Well, it's stackable. It makes sense. It's stackable.
Yeah.
It's like a perfect fit.
The
you're like, oh,
caterpillar.
you can see where you're like, oh, I can see where
God meant this to be.
God meant for this to be. But then when you're pushing the legs up so high that you gotta get the butthole up, that's like acrobatics. And you as a gymnast are probably triggered as well.
That's right.
But I'm like, you're like, you have to maneuver so much.
Yeah, and then there's a penis that's just sitting there not being used. It's like an extra, it's like when you've done a model. I don't know if you did models when you were a kid with the glue and everything, and there's a piece left over at the end, and you're like,
what
what's this?
And then you feel like you failed.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about like when there's like a dangly dick, I always think of, I used to watch like the Cinemax, like
Spank Vision, yeah.
like porn stuff when I was younger. Like we could get it. I don't know how we got it. Like somehow we found out how to have it in the house. And so I would like sneak and watch it. And you could always see like there was always like a silhouette of the guy's actual dick because they're just like pretending to.
Right.
But I was thinking, I've been watching the show Outlander. Do you know that show?
My wife loves it. It's like, I call it Scottish.
There's so much sex in it. And I'm looking at it, I'm like I fast forward the sex scenes now because I'm like, I'm actually like, there's too much sex scenes.
I would always like, my wife watches it on her own and I'll hear the sex scene. So I'll of course walk in the room. And then we have like this running joke where I'm like, you're fucking disgusting.
It is like, I mean, it's like the scenes in between the are shorter than the points. And you're just like, oh my, I mean, it's like all and it's good. I mean, the guy's hot as shit, but it's like, you're just like, and there's actually an amazing R scene in it. He gets R'd by a guy in prison the first season.
R'd?
Yeah.
What's R'd? Oh.
But we can't say it. But
there goes the algorithm.
I know. We're such whores. Speaking of being, thank you, algorithm. But that's a crazy scene.
Yeah, I was watching that show. What was it called where the woman stalks the guy in England?
Baby Reindeer?
Yeah, Baby Reindeer. And when the guy gets drugged and R'd by the other guy, I had to punch out on that series. I was like, I cannot. That was the most.
You were too horny?
It was, I had to get in the other room. And that was the most disturbing thing I've seen in a TV show in my life. Because I was already.
You should watch that scene because it's bad. Watch the Outlander R scene.
Well, first of all, like that show makes you uncomfortable because it's stalking and she's kind of obese. So it makes the stalking more creepy.
Yeah.
And then also that guy's stand-up was so cringy.
I know.
As a stand-up, watching that made me so
bad.
And then there was the male R, and I was just like, I can't do this.
And that scenario where it's like a guy, you know, the producer, the successful guy, like coming in and seeing something in him, and you're like, oh,
grooming
God.
him.
It's like so the whole thing. And then the fact that it's a true story, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was thinking with the Outlander thing, with all these sex scenes, they're on season 8, I think. They're filming season 9. It could be 7 and 8, I'm not sure, but somewhere along those years. There's no way these people still like each other.
Yeah.
They have to hate each other.
I know.
They've got to. And the fact that they make them, and then they have like the kids that started out, and then now their characters are grown-ups, and now they're getting them in their scenes. Like nobody, it's not the same actors. Like they definitely like recast them and stuff, but it's like, they're like, everyone is getting a scene in this. And there's always like a crazy, but then I was looking up, I started to be like, thinking about how, you know, back in the day, from what they depict on Outlanders, you really had to court someone, you had to propose to them, you had to be a virgin when you got married. So if you had sex out of marriage, you were like disgracing the whole family. And it was this huge deal. So I was looking up like the courtship and the sex traditions in the 1700s. And then it just led me to hygiene.
Yeah.
And they're just like, people smelled like shit back then.
That's all I can think about when I watch those period sex scenes.
It's like, this is a stinky room.
They brushed their teeth, never. They had rotting teeth. So when you see them face to face, I'm like, there's no way people went face to face back then. And there was no mouth kissing. There was definitely no oral.
I think that they really probably didn't even like fucking as much back then because it was easier.
And
for them
you
to
ended up with a fever after every time you had sex.
And a baby.
Yeah.
They were just pregnant every time, basically. And then, so I was looking that up and they were saying they bathed like once a week. They would bathe once a week.
In cold water, and they shared the water. It wasn't your own water.
There weren't like tampons. There was no Summer's Eve back then. There was no Vagisil.
Yeah.
To clean those. So it was just like funk.
There was
all
no
the
toilet
time.
paper. So
No toilet paper.
if you did take a dump, like you're going to get oral from a woman and you just took a dump with no toilet paper and she's not going to throw up all over you.
Maybe she did. I mean, the whores, I mean, they really should. Those are true heroes. Prostitutes were heroes.
A prostitute who is getting one after the
Just the
other.
nastiest. They're just coming in. They're not like, oh, I want to be clean for this lady.
Yeah.
They're not, there's
Oh
no
my
care.
God.
It really makes you think.
But I think that's a good point that you bring up about getting along on a show that's been on for that long, because it's one thing if you're on like Seinfeld or like a multi-camera show. That's not even multi-camera. That's single camera, I guess. They did a hybrid. That show, they made it sound like a studio audience, but I don't think they really used one. I think they just laid in.
It's great.
I'm not sure, but all right.
It's like you're special.
Say like Everybody Loves Raymond, where it's a staged.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. You show up on Monday and there's a table read.
Right.
And then you have a bagel. You say hi to your agent. And you're done after 3 hours. And then Tuesday, you get the day off because the writers are rewriting. Wednesday, you come in for some rehearsals. Thursday, you come in for a few hours for some blocking. Friday, is tape night. All right, so that's an 8-hour day.
Right.
And then you got the weekend off. You're going to be the Friends cast, they loved each other, except for the guy that drowned. Like, they all were so happy.
Thank you for blaming it on the water and not the sweet, beautiful ketamine.
Oh, right.
It was the water's fault.
Yeah. But, it just seems like when you're doing a 1-hour drama that's out in freezing cold Scotland and you're doing 13-hour days because it's single
away
camera.
From your families, your
away
loved
from your
ones.
family. Oh, no, that's when you don't get along.
And you're so intimate in the scenes.
Yeah.
Like every scene is like inner thigh. Like it's crazy. So you're so exposed. All this stuff's happening. The only thing I can think of is you have to be having an affair with each other. Like you have to be fucking each other on the side or something. Or one of them's gay. Like maybe the guy's gay.
Yeah.
They never were like show him with, I don't know.
I went to acting school for 2 years in New York. And it was pretty intense. Acting school is the neighborhood playhouse. That's where like Paul Newman and Brando and James Dean all went.
Class.
My class of guys. but I had two different scenes that they were sexual, and we hooked up both times. Like you can't play that out with people and then
have it be realistic on camera if there's not a spark in real life, unless one of you is fucking gay. Yeah. I'm telling you, like if there's a gay person, then you can, because it's like, you can be like, as a straight woman, I could be attracted to like a hot gay guy, and it's kind of hotter that he doesn't want me at all.
Interesting.
I'm like, okay. But a gay guy, like,
Todd?
I think that gay guys are probably pretty good at acting because they had to act a lot of the beginning of their lives. Was a lot of like putting on a show or whatever.
Yeah.
But it just, to me, it just was like, but then I was watching an interview on one of their Instagrams of the two actresses that play like his daughter and his wife, like interviewing him. And they are kind of like, the guy is like smoking hot. He's like, at least his hairline is receding. You're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Do not get hair plugs. You won't be able to, it's like but they're like, and I'm like,
really?
Like, I was like catching a vibe where I'm like, but for 8 years, are they having this vibe? I just don't know.
All right.
Maybe actually, can we pull up his Instagram?
Can I take my hat off? I don't want to like blast your cameras. Look at that. Now you can't even see my head because there's a cloud behind me. Oh, that's better.
I was thinking about your head today.
Oh, really?
I was thinking about if someone was like, I'm going to buy you like a full head of hair plugs, and you don't have to do anything and we know it's going to work. Would you do it? Or do you think it would be weird as a comedian?
I think it'd be hilarious as a comedian. Yeah. Like when I was growing up, it was all the borscht. My dad was a member of the Friars Club, so I grew up going there. Yeah, ever since I was a little kid, I was friends with
That's so cool.
Henny Youngman and Mousy Lawrence and Milton Berle. Like I knew all
your
those.
Class.
My class.
This is so funny. You know so many old people.
They opened for me.
You taught them so much.
But they all had toupees, and it was just accepted that you had a fucking toupee, you know? And sometimes you wore it, and sometimes you didn't. It was like a hat.
Yeah.
And I just thought, man, that would be so cool to do that when I get older. And that maybe why not? Why not get a toupee?
If I had more time, I would have went and got you like a really nice toupee.
Really?
Yeah. But I like that you're bald.
I have a good
head. It doesn't affect you.
No, I'm fine with it. Yeah. It was very freeing. It wasn't until the pandemic that I started shaving it.
Really?
And
I'm trying to remember.
It was very freeing. It was whatever. It was the normal, like the lame little crown. And then once I started buzzing it, it was just so freeing.
Yeah.
Now I just don't think about it. But when I was losing it, and like I did a Rogaine ad when I was 29 years
So
old.
funny. I remember seeing a clip of
And
this.
so, and I was really just in total denial about that I was losing it at all. And it bothered me in my 30s. I was obsessed. I used to have this brown powder that I would,
Oh yeah,
whenever
yeah,
I do a
yeah. I do
TV
that for my
show.
hairline sometimes.
Yeah, whenever I do a TV show, I'd powder up the thinning, and then you just look back and you go, who cares?
I
Like
know.
nobody ever cared except for me.
Well, there's something about like being the truth, especially now in a time where everyone's just completely reconstructing their faces and
Yeah.
everything. Even the kids are doing like the mewing and stuff. Do you know this?
What's that?
They do like a thing. It's like tongue exercises and jaw exercises. And these like young men are going from having these like weird noses and these sort of recessed chins to having these like tight, like square jaws. It's like really amazing. It's all
like a
because of your
workout for your
it's
jaw.
a workout, but it's also because so many people are mouth breathers, and your body just, when your skull is forming, you're supposed to be breathing through your nose. Like your whole body is set up
Mhm.
to filter everything through your nose.
Right.
So when you breathe through your mouth, everything's developing wrong. It's just like, it's bad for your health. So now people are taping their mouths and doing all this stuff. And your tongue is supposed to be on top of the roof of your mouth, and it's supposed to be spreading your palate out. So your palate is supposed to be the size of your tongue. I have TMJ, so I was always looking all this shit up. But it's like, do you see how it's like recessed? But anyway, so there's like this thing that you can do. But like guys are getting like jaws like that.
Wow.
And they have this like really tough gum they're chewing. And
Uh-huh. That's so funny.
it's so wild. But
And
anyway,
it-
so there's all of this like sort of aesthetic stuff. So it's like, but there's also something to be about just like, what if we just were like exactly our age,
Yep.
exactly what's happening?
That's
there's
why
just
I
so
love
few.
what's her name? Kate Winslet. She doesn't give a she's so beautiful, and she's just aging, and she's just letting it happen. She doesn't do anything.
Are you sure? She probably does a little.
If she does, it's very little.
You know what's funny about her too? I waited on her when I used to work at this restaurant in New York, and she's just so fucking pretty.
Yeah.
It's like even the people where you're like, oh, she's like more normal looking. When you see them in person, you're like, no, this is out of our league. None of us should be allowed to speak to her. She's so beautiful. And they kept calling her fat back in the day.
Oh, they did?
Are you talking about the Titanic? Are you talking about Kate Winslet? There's a lot of Kates.
Yeah, Kate Winslet.
Yeah. Remember she was in Titanic?
Yeah,
And
I
they
don't
all
remember
called
her being fat. Really?
She wasn't.
Hmm.
But Hollywood was like, look at this porker.
Yeah.
He probably weighed like 129
Yeah, I guess she wasn't
pounds.
skinny. Right,
Yeah.
right.
They were like the fattest woman in Hollywood. They gave
Yeah.
her so much shit. She did eat the cornbread at the
Well,
restaurant.
you know, my wife was Julia Roberts. She
Mhm.
worked in her company for a while.
Yeah.
She was like her assistant development person. And, you know, every time I was in her presence, I could not speak. She was
It's
so much more
crazy.
beautiful than anybody you've ever seen, except my wife.
Yeah, of course.
But my wife actually looked like Julie when she was younger, quite a bit.
Aaron's babe.
And but Julie was just like, if she was in the room, no guy was paying attention to his wife or his girlfriend.
Yeah, and there's something about, I don't know. I'm always like, I met Billy Bob Thornton once,
Uh-huh.
and he had a glow.
Yeah,
Where
I
I'm
could
like,
see that.
what is going on? Because I've been
Yeah.
watching the new show with him in Landman, and he's dating Ali Lauder in it. He's like married to Ali Lauder, Lauder, something like that. She's like been in a bunch of stuff, but she's such a fucking babe. Like I was looking up her age. She's like in her late 40s. She's fucking gorgeous. And I'm like, but realistically, would she be with Billy Bob Thornton? And then I'm remembering the glow
Yeah,
of Billy Bob Thornton.
right.
I'm
No,
like,
he
is
had,
it
he had
lasers?
Angelina Jolie in her prime.
Is it lasers? He was funny too. He was like, Billy, I met him in the craft service of this. I went on set in Santa Fe. They were shooting a film, and he was like, Billy Bob Thornton, international superstar.
That's great.
And my friend that was like working on that was like, do you want to hook up with Billy Bob Thornton? I was like, no, not that he had, but he was like, I could make it happen. I was like, no, I'm good. I was like 22. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to.
Damn.
But he's like, I could make it happen. I'm like, oh no.
Who's the most beautiful person you've ever seen in your life?
I saw at the mall once, I saw Natalie Portman, and she was pretty striking.
Really?
Pretty fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Trying to think of who else. It is weird when you just go, oh, there is a difference.
Yeah.
And
Did I
it's
ever
gotta
tell you
be-
my Angelina Jolie story?
No.
All right. So, you know, I used to work on Ellen.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up.
So I once in a while would go on camera on the show. So it was St. Patrick's Day, and this was so racist. And they're like, all right, Greg, we got you a leprechaun costume.
Sounds like
you're,
Chelsea.
You're going to dance around on the stage with Ellen at the beginning of the show. Like I had a pot of gold
That is so
and I was throwing the coins and
funny.
she was chasing me around the stage. So I'm waiting to go on.
She was playing Jewish. Chasing the coins.
Prosthetic nose. And so I'm sitting in a director's chair backstage waiting to go on for the cold open. And I'm wearing like, green, the leotard
Yeah.
and like a little leprechaun skirt and orange beard. And meanwhile, like Angelina Jolie is my hall pass. She was always like I'm just obsessed with how beautiful
Yeah. You were hers
and
too,
sexy
which is
and
incredible.
cool. It's so weird.
It's
I know.
so weird. She was like,
If only-
Brad, listen, there's
Right,
one guy.
Right. He's from the Rogaine commercial. You know that guy. And so I'm sitting on the director's chair, and then she comes back. She's going to be the lead guest, so they're putting her backstage. And she comes back and she sits next to me, and she gives me a big smile. And I look at her and I give her a big smile, and then she starts laughing. And I look at myself and I'm like, and then I had to like run out on stage and run around with the coins.
Which is better than, I think that's a better case scenario than just being a regular guy meeting her.
Yeah, probably. She'll remember me.
She wouldn't probably laugh at you if you were just
No.
a regular dude.
No. Christmas, we used to get, it was like this running thing in my family where it was like, we always get exactly 60 Christmas cards.
Yeah.
And we used to send them out. That's why we get so
Yeah.
many. You got to give it to get it.
Yeah.
And so we get 60 cards, and every year I wrap them up. I take some of the holiday ribbon and I wrap it up, and I have this crate in the garage that's got like 15 years
You're like,
worth of
this
Christmas
is for
cards.
Angelina. This is for Julia.
Right. And so this year we have gotten 2.
Nobody's doing it anymore.
Nobody's doing Christmas cards
It's
anymore.
over. Honestly, I find it to be, well, first of all, the fact that I'm not in your top 60 is so disgusting.
Top
but
60?
I'm not in your top 60.
The
I've
send
never
out
gotten-
card? I haven't sent one out in 7 years.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know you
Okay.
when I started doing it.
I know I'd be in your top 60 now.
Yeah, for sure.
If I wasn't in your top 60, I would be jumping off the balcony.
No, but I think that's why my numbers are down, because I haven't been sending them out.
But I don't know if it's that or people are paperless. Like the mail
Yeah.
is not even, I'm going to tell you, I'll be completely honest. I have mailed a letter one time in the past 15 years. And I don't know what the it was for. And I remember having to call my dad and be like, where does the stamp go? I was like, it's just not, the mail is not a thing anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Like we don't check our mail and then we come and the mailman's obviously so mad at us. He's just punching like all these things in and it's just all
Yeah.
weird trash.
Right.
So when we get like, wedding invite, save the date and stuff like that, it's just like we put them on our fridge, but it's just like, to me, it is clutter.
I used to send my daughter, she was going to college in Northern California and she was a little bit sad. So I used to send her one letter every week.
Aw.
And she never really like mentioned it. And then I was looking in her drawer for something and
She
I
saved
found
all of
all
them,
the
of
letters. Yeah.
course. Yeah, she's when she's gonna really like those letters.
When I die.
When you're dead.
Yeah. We got a new bed like 6 months ago and it's memory foam,
Mhm.
which I think might have been a mistake because then like last week my wife hit on me and I told her I wasn't in the mood. And then the mattress said out loud, I seem to remember him jerking off 3 hours ago. And I realized I need some forgetful foam.
She's like, why is there elbow prints? Why is there like you masturbate into it? It's like, why is your cock printed into
Yeah,
it?
right. No, I find the spot she sleeps in and I lay right on top of
My
it.
first tweet was September 11th. I think it was like September 11th, 2011 was my first tweet. I was like, I got to get on Twitter. I got to put this
10-year
tweet out.
anniversary.
I got to get this tweet out today. And it said, today's a good day to have a memory foam mattress because it never forgets. I was like, I got to get this 9/11 tweet out. So
That's
stupid.
good.
So
Right.
dumb. But what did I want to talk to you about more?
My special, probably.
Oh, I love your special. I always forget the name of it. And what's the name of it?
It's called You Know Me.
Which is so funny. And every time I'm bringing you up on stage, I'm like, it's the best special. I can't remember what it's called. What is it called? You Know Me.
You Know Me. We just almost hit 500,000 views.
Get 1 million, guys. Come on.
Let's get me to 1 million. Anyway, whatever. It was fun.
That's
It was,
great, though. 500 is great.
Well, I pushed it really hard. I went on everybody's podcast. And then as soon as I stopped going to the podcast, it just went like flat. Like there's no carryover. There's
It's
no
such
momentum.
it's a weird time. And that's what I keep, whenever I go on before you and I bring you up, I always say, look, there's a lot of comedy specials out there and you've been burned, guys. They've sucked. There's been so many bad comedy specials that have been released and they suck. And we're all friends with each other. So we all promote each other's specials, whether they suck or not. So you can't trust any of us anymore, but you can trust me now. He actually made an amazing special from beginning to end. It's hilarious. So just fucking watch it. It's like, you've been burned. I don't blame the people for not trusting specials anymore.
I've promoted bad specials on my podcast.
I can't tell you how many people I'm like, yeah, it was great.
Actors act.
I know. I'm going to be the greatest actor of our time once I go to your school.
The Neighborhood Playhouse.
I'm going to go to the Neighborhood Playhouse and I'm going to become a breakdancer.
Oh, yeah. We got to shoot that. We're going to go to Venice Beach.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I want to talk about Ellen, but we're over time.
Okay, we'll do it next time.
We got
We're
Ellen
a block from each other. We should be doing each other's podcasts every 3 months.
I know, that's true. Okay, next time, guys, you'll hear the real story about Ellen. And I will reveal the name of the celebrity who plays sports that I did cocaine with.
Anniewood's gonna save the world, yeah. When everything's burning, their voices keep returning, bringing us together, making it all better. Anniewood's the calling, catch us when we're falling. Turn the volume high, questions soaring to the sky. Anniewood's the way, brighter every day. And when you feel alone, hope is being shown in every single word. Our stories will be heard. We're breaking down the walls, yeah, show 'em what they want. Laughing till we fall, we're speaking for us all. And it's undeniable, this force is reliable. Anniewood's gonna save the world, yeah. When everything's burning, their voices keep returning, bringing us together, making it all better. Anniewood's the calling, catch us when we're falling. With every beat, every word, a revolution's heard from the world's every corner. We're getting stronger. Anniewood's gonna save the world, yeah. When everything's burning, their voices keep returning, bringing us together, making it all better. Anniewood's the calling, catch us when we're falling.
Oh, Randy, how did you feel about today's episode? Was it good? Did you like it? Did you like it outside? Did you like it like a puppuccino? Puppuccino? Did you like a puppuccino? Did you like a puppuccino?